Hello there.
Hello, hello. Where's your camera? There you are. There you are.
How you doing? Sorry, I can't hear. Don't know if
I'm
it's
all
on
right.
my end. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't hear you though.
Oh, can anyone else hear me? Let me just make sure my microphone's on the right one. Yep. What? Just making. Sometimes your computer audio, if it reset
I
or
can't
restarted.
hear you. Classic technical problems.
Yeah,
Um,
it's weird.
I'm gonna just
Yeah.
rejoin if that's okay. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is because I can see me, but I can't. 1 second, sorry.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. See. There we are. Can you hear me now?
Okay, hopefully I can hear everyone.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
There you go.
Perfect.
Awesome. Sorry for the late start, folks. A little bit of technical issues here on our part.
I'm not the only one anymore. But it's
we
all
managed to
good.
get on. Yeah, we've only got a short bit left, but thank you to those who did hop in. Yeah, know that awesome. we missed last week, so really wanted to, not miss another session.
Nope, for sure. So I'll just take it over from here, Crystal, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately with the technical issues, we only really have about 20-25 minutes. So I mean, I think that the smaller class, which us 5 are in here, is great. So I'm really essentially going to be giving you more one-on-one kind of coaching at this point. So I know that some of the people come to my last few classes, but is there anything specific that, like, are you dealing with certain objections? Are you dealing with certain mindsets? Are you dealing with certain objections that you don't know how to handle? Or how are the leads going on your end? Like, since it's a smaller class, like, this is a great time to get more value and personalize the information to yourself and how to help you. Does anyone want to come up here?
We can give you the ability to speak if you wish to talk about anything that you may be encountering with your CRM, with your leads, or how to get past something, what to look for.
Yes. Perfect.
Prit, we're going to allow you to talk, so you can unmute yourself, and then you will have the ability to talk.
Hello.
Hey, Prit, how are you?
Good. I am actually, not having very much luck in converting the leads. So
okay,
you have to tell me how I can do it.
Yeah. So, okay. So what are you doing now? So for example, a lead comes in. What's happening? When are you messaging them?
Well, I'm calling them, and then some people don't pick up the phone. And if they do pick up the phone, they say, I'm not interested. They put the phone down.
What are you saying? What's the first initial conversation? Like, what are you saying? So let's role play. Hello. Hi.
Hi, this is Prit Charhal from Roll the Page. How are you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah. And you probably weren't expecting my call, but you are on my website looking at some condos. How can I help you?
Yeah. So I understand why they're saying no. You know what I mean, Prit? Just because the message and the delivery, I don't think people respond well to that. So I'll tell you the difference. So if you want to role play, so hello. Hey, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
That's good. That's good to hear. It's actually just Nick Moretti giving you a call. I just want to take a moment just to thank you for coming onto our website and viewing homes on, morettirealestate.ca. Just want to, take a quick little moment and ask you, I understand that you're not looking to sell. I understand that you're just looking for information, but I see, because you can see, like, remember, you can see where they're viewing, right? Like what they viewed in and what city. I see that you're viewing homes in, Clarington. Is that something that you're interested in?
Yes.
Do you see how like the message though, it's not like, oh, you weren't expecting my call. It's like, hey, how are you? You know, that first minute, you want to just kind of like that first, not even minute, the first like 15, 20 seconds, you just really just want to just, you know, hey, how are you? Like build that relationship, you know, feel peppy, like, you know, get motivated. And I think that also makes a difference. And I'm really quick at letting people know why I'm calling and then asking the question right away. So like, for example, again, and I'll go a little bit slower without role playing so you can hear it and take it in. But it's, you know, hey, how you doing? It's Nick Moretti. How you doing today? Great. Are you living the dream as well? Awesome. I know you are. I'm living the dream too. So I'm glad you are. Get them to laugh. That's just how I sell. That's just how I talk. So I just try to get them to laugh quick. And then, you know, then they give me about 10 seconds of their time. So yeah, living the dream. Awesome. No worries. It's actually just Nick Moretti giving you a call. I honestly personally want to reach out to you to thank you so much for coming onto our website on morettirealestate.com. And I just wanted to let you know, I'm not calling to sell you on anything. I understand that you're just in the information stage, but I saw that you just were looking at attached homes in, you know, Clarington. Is that something you're interested in? Are you there now? Do you see how I'm already asking questions though?
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, okay, you're in Bowmanville or Clarington. Awesome. How long have you been here for? Do you live here or do you live outside the city?
Outside the city.
Oh, awesome. Are you in like still Durham region? Are you, you know, in Pickering, Ajax or?
I'm in Toronto.
Nice. Good old Toronto. If you don't mind me asking, what kind of got you curious about moving out here? Is it the value that you're getting for your money, or is it just you want more space than, you know, being close to people in Toronto?
Basically, I want to move to a smaller city and get more value for my dollar.
Awesome. Yeah, you know what? That's the best thing to do. If you don't mind me asking, how long have you lived in your house right now or condo?
I don't own a home.
Okay, no problem. Have you been renting for a while?
Yes.
Nice, nice. It's actually great that you know you're kind of looking at opportunity to possibly, you know, have home ownership, as you know that's such a luxury to have in Canada, as you know, with the house shortage and, you know, with prices going up crazy and a lot of competition. So I totally understand. What I can tell you is that the market has picked up a little bit, but compared to like the last craziness in 2020, 2021, it's not as crazy, but it's starting to get there. We're starting to see some conditional sales, which is great. So you don't have to go firm depending on the property. But if you don't mind me asking, like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a townhouse? You know, are you looking for a semi? Are you looking for 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms minimum?
Starter home.
Okay, so what is that? Is that a condo?
Condo or a townhouse?
Okay, awesome, awesome. Are you looking for something like a little bit more traditional or open concept?
I don't know yet.
I totally understand. And I'm sorry if I'm asking so many questions, but you know, my goal is, like I said, I'm coming from customer service and I just want to really help you out and define, you know, what you're looking for so that when I send you listings, for you just to view and, you know, ask questions about, my goal is to make sure I'm not like those other agents that are just, you know, filling up your inbox. I want to send you and, you know, I want to send you and define more of what you're looking for so that if I showcase some really good opportunities, you know, there might be some that you may want to take advantage of. Would that sound right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
right.
basically, I'm just having difficulty. I think I have to listen to more or how you say it.
Yes.
To the old ways.
Yes, it's all through how you script it. You know what I mean? So as you can see though, this conversation sounds natural, but like keep in mind, like this is what I do, right? So I make it look easy, but it's been 7, 8 years of dedication, you know, Crystal helping me out with my CRM because she knows that I was crazy when I first started. But you know, just taking advantage of the support and then these classes. I know that there's not just me, there's a lot of other great individuals showcasing and sharing their success, because the best part about real estate or in sales in general, you could do it any which way, but I think the best way to close and build relationships and do things correctly, I think it's just being authentic to yourself. You know, just have a basic script down and then be authentic to yourself.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But generally, like, so in this conversation next, what I would usually do, since I kind of already asked them questions and it's back and forth, usually they'll tell me more information. I'll usually ask, well, if you don't mind me asking, have you been pre-approved? And then they'll say yes or no, probably no. And I'd be like, okay, I totally understand. Just to let you know, I do have many lenders. I have lenders at mortgage agents at big banks, and I also have a mortgage broker who can shop around for you. Which one would you kind of prefer?
Okay, so these are the kind of question you ask,
These are the
right?
questions I'm asking, yeah. And then usually they'll say their own bank, and I go, okay, if you don't mind me asking, who do you bank with? TD, Scotia? Like I already start throwing those things out. So like, it makes sense for them to respond back instead of just being like timid about it. Do you know what I'm saying? So if they go, yeah,
no, so soon as I called, I just get no.
But it's the way that you're positioning it. That's why. Sometimes I get no's too, but like okay, they give me a no. Okay, no problem. I totally understand. If you don't mind me asking, I understand that you're early in the stage, but what's really, really good about getting pre-approved, even though you may not take advantage of it, is that the banks, depending on which lender you go with, they have a rate hold because there's going to be other announcements, and just to catch you up to speed, there has been in the last 11 announcements, 8 or 9 has been increases that we've seen in the last year. And the last 2 has been holding rates, which has increased buyers' confidence. And this is why prices are going up. You know what I mean? So even if you don't take advantage of it, I think it's always good to know where you stand because, Prit, it sounds like when we first started, you want to get out of the city, you want to get more value, and you want to be a homeowner. Isn't that exciting?
Yes. Could you go over when you dial again, what do you say?
Yeah, I just go, hey, it's Nick Moretti calling. How you doing? You live in the dream too. This is just what I say. It might not work for you. So be authentic to yourself, right? But without adding my personality into it, it's just like, hey, it's Nick Moretti. Just want to thank you for coming onto my website. Not looking to sell you or on anything. My goal is just to connect you to the properties that you do want to see. I see that you're looking at homes in, wherever, because remember, in your system, it'll show on the right side where they're looking. Do you know what I mean when I say that or no?
Oh, yes, because they actually are looking in Guelph.
Perfect. So I see that you're looking at detached homes in Guelph. Is that what you're interested in?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, because you got to remember, you have information that people don't know yet, right? Okay. So the best part about that is that, you're basically like a ninja because you have some information that they want to see. They're motivated if they hear it. And once you ask them motivating questions, they're going to continue to give you the real stuff. And that's why it's important not to, talk the whole time. It's important to like get your first spiel in as fast as possible without like wrapping it, right? And then ask them questions, because the more questions I ask and the more they talk, guess what? They're going to build more relationship with me. They're going to feel more comfortable and they're going to tell me the truth.
I think too, it's if you're coming in from that customer service standpoint. So if you're reaching out to these leads with no expectation other than to help them set up their account properly, it takes a lot of the pressure off yourself. So if you kind of just almost kind of flip your hat sideways and treat it a little bit differently, right? Knowing that the majority of these people you're calling are not moving right away. All right, so we just want to be here to thank them for signing up on our site, gain a little bit of insight as to what they're looking for, why and when, and then that way we can help position ourselves to facilitate that move or that transition for them. But people will feel a lot more open to you talking to them when they don't sense the fact that, hey, she's trying to sell me, she's trying to get me to look at houses this week, and she's trying to do this too fast. I'm not ready for it. But again, if you come from that customer service, almost like you're the concierge. And I'm going to be the concierge of your home search. We're going to get you set up, make sure we're getting you the right properties. That way, when the time comes, if you have questions about things, the properties are going to be relevant to what you'd actually be seeking in today's market.
Yes. And then I think another great point to point out when you're going around that route is basically saying, you know what, I'm sure that you've probably seen a couple other homes on different websites and you've had to put your information in. I'm sure you're getting tons of calls. I can definitely help you remove that, because once I start sending you listings that you want to see, just look at my website and I'll take care of you. Just let me know what you want and I'll take care of you. So you kind of like cut them out of the competition, and now they want to just work with you as long as you send the right information and you respect them in the communication style that they want and the frequency. Yeah. Frequency. I can't even speak of what that is. You know what I mean? So you just got to respect them. And I think, what really has made me successful in this business is always leading through contribution. not waiting to get something back before I give. I've been just giving. Right? It's just, it is what it is. But that's kind of where it's at. I mean, there's a whole different script, because once you just get through the middle and you get there, then you start asking about, you know, if they can sell, or if they have a house to sell. And then it's like, okay, the script on the nosy neighbor and getting them on there and all that other stuff. But I don't want to overwhelm you in any way. I think, you know, if you're not getting the success you're getting right now, you need to work better on the opening, the middle, and close. Like close mean like, okay, thanks so much for giving me all that information. I'm gonna update the listings for you and send you something. I'll also send you a like what I do is I'll also send you a handpicked list. So the handpicked list is something that I'm scanning through the website, through MLS, to make sure that I'm not missing any opportunities. And then the other email that I'm sending you will just showcase everything of the type of stats you want. So 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, detached, you know, between 5 to 800K. You'll get anything. Some of those things might not be your cup of tea, but I rather showcase things that's on the market, because sometimes I'm not a mind reader. You know, I think what I do is I just really define everything. And that's what makes people feel good. Because you got to think about it. How I thought about this, because I, you know, worked many jobs before I got into real estate, but think about a corporation. When you walk into Bell, when you walk into telecommunication, like Rogers, TELUS, whatever, when you come in, you got to picture that these people who are signing up on your website and you're having their information captured, they're walking into your store, you know? So remember, like when someone walks in right away, you don't want to call them right away and say, hey, how are you? How can I help you? Right? You don't want to do that, because they're going to be like, bye. Right? So what you want to do is you want them to come in. Like what I usually do is I usually touch base with them within 24 hours. But mostly like probably 20 to 30 hours later, that's probably when I'm reaching out to them, because I also want them to kind of forget that they signed up. You know what I mean? So how I view that is someone like viewing in the store, walking around for 5 minutes, and now they probably want some help or some, you know, some sort of help. So that's kind of how I visualize it. And just like a corporation, how do you do it? Oh, you ask them questions, you find out what they're looking for, what they currently have now, what issues do they have, what's their pain point, what do they want, how can I get them motivated to get it done? So these are all things that are happening in this call mentally for me while I'm finding information and all that stuff. But remember, you're not going to be a pro tomorrow. It's just practice, just like anything. I make it look a little bit easy, but remember, I've been in sales like my whole life. So, you know, now being in real estate for almost 8 years or 7 or 8 years, now it's just, you know, it's easy because nothing really changed but the scripts. And if you're finding that you're not getting any success from the scripts, that's something that you need to start changing. But that's why you're here. So kudos on you. You know, is there any other questions that you may have?
No, just wanted to know the script to start off with.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Just, hey, I'm Prit. I hope you're doing well. Just wanted to call just to thanks for coming on to our website, whatever that website is. And just say, like, you know, just to let you know up front, I'm not here to sell you on anything. My goal is just to connect you to the right properties you want to see.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah, right. So thanks for being brave and coming up here. I know it's scary sometimes, but Crystal and I don't bite. I don't know if John or Monica wants to come up here, maybe to ask some questions as well too, because we only really have less than 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. So I'm here for you. This is like basically one-on-one coaching for a quick little bit. No, Crystal, do you have any other general questions that come up from agents that you're helping with, or?
No, it's usually a lot of it comes down to talking to their leads. The other is we typically get the whole no one answers, right? No one answers. What I commonly see, and basically Retrina can attest to this as well, is we get a lot of those no one answers. But when we look at the call history, there's like one call on each person, right? So it's remembering that how often does our phone ring and we don't answer it? And it's not even all the time a number we don't recognize. Sometimes it is a number that we're recognizing, but we're in the middle of something. We can't take that call, right? So it's not that these individuals don't want to talk to you. It does take consistency and in many cases multiple calls to this number, to their number, to get them to answer. And really, and how I stress that you guys all have filters in your system, it's the consistency that will get them to answer. And that's why you have to log all your calls. Those filters are going to just like automatically tell you who you got to call based on your last call log. But if now there's such a rise, so like I don't even know how many times a day my phone rings from some random number. Sometimes it's local, sometimes it's in Ontario, sometimes it's like California, whatever it is, right? I generally answer every time, hang up, every time, hang up, right? But it's always a different phone number. Right now, just imagine if you're calling these people and they kept calling me and doing that, but it was the same number and I wasn't answering, right? So the same number keeps popping up on my phone. I'm more likely to answer that call to figure out who is this number that keeps popping up on my phone, because it's the same phone number. It's not continuously changing, right? So bearing in mind that a lot of the scammers and all of those things and other sales things are using either multi-line dialers or they're just recycling numbers and calling one time only. So if you're consistently calling more than one time, that's where the number recognition starts to come into effect, and they will answer.
Exactly.
They will, because I've had it before. It was actually, myself. Now I enter a contest. So I'm hopeful that I'm going to win. So I answer.
I hope you win.
That's the reason generally why I answer my phone.
Hey, Crystal, congratulations. You won a free search.
I know. But prior to that, I wouldn't answer. And I actually had a situation like that where it was a number and it kept popping up. No name, no nothing, just the phone number. But then I started noticing it was the same number. And it would pop up maybe, every few days, 3 to 5 days, that sort of thing. And finally I answered it. It was like my phone provider. I'm like, why they had no call displays? Probably because people know it's CUDA, they don't answer. So they leave it as, an unknown, but they're consistent with those calls so that you recognize it. And eventually I answer the call, right? So it does work because, again, they start to recognize that saying that somebody is trying to get a hold of them.
Right.
So that's really one of the biggest things is really make sure you log all your calls, whether you talk to them or not, because again, tracking your behaviors and activities is super important. It's huge. A lot of people just focus primarily on what the leads are doing, and the leads activity, that's a small piece of the puzzle. Your tracking of your own behaviors is the larger piece of that puzzle, because it's the consistency again and tracking so that you can have an effective follow-up routine as well. So after the conversation, we now need to follow up with these people, but we need to know when we last spoke to them to know when we should be doing that again.
100%.
So it's.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How do you find archive leads?
The filter pipeline. So if you go to the filters, add filter, pipeline, and then you filter to find the archive pipeline.
And then, let's just say if you get someone that's just learning lesson from everyone out here, if you're getting someone that has both bad phone number, bad email, are you deleting that?
You're archiving that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all it does. Yeah. So really what your archive should be are people that you cannot communicate with. You've got a bad phone number and a bad email address. You're going to mark both of them as invalid or make sure they are, just in case there's a fluke, chance that they come back to your site in the near future. The site has cookies. If you mark their phone number as invalid, it's at least going to prompt them to give a valid phone number. Now, if you have, a good number, but a bad email, we're not archiving that because we have some form of communication, and then the same vice versa. Right. So always remembering that you've paid for these leads. Don't delete them. And you have 3 types of leads that are going to enter into your system. Leads that you can only call, leads that you can only email, and leads that you can both call and email. Right. So it's really just, again, marking numbers or emails as being invalid when they are, and then the filters are there. Most of you should have or do have an email only list. Those are the people where you have a good email address, but a bad phone number. You know that I can only try to email these people in order to gain communications with them. Or you can put them on a bad number campaign that's in your system as well. That is a series of emails trying to encourage them to provide, at least respond or perhaps give you a good phone number. But again, it's leveraging what you have and using it to your advantage. because a lot of people will take those leads where it's only, one form of communication and delete them. They consider them garbage.
Yeah.
Don't delete them. Right?
Yeah.
You're building a database. You remember that in your database, today's day one. If you can imagine when it looks at a day 1,000, how many people are going to be in your database and how many people would not be in your database if you were deleting all those people. Right. So
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good. Sorry, I was just looking at like archiving and stuff like that.
No worries. No worries. But yeah, so take advantage of what you have. Phone numbers, you can mass text them, emails, you can mass email them. Again, you got new listings, open houses, different things like that, market stat, whatever it is. You've got that email in there. And then, sometimes it's just a matter of time before somebody's comfortable enough to provide you with proper information. Right? Not everyone is just willing to give it out right at the, right from the get-go. Sometimes we have to show up and earn that information.
Totally. I totally agree with you. And you have to ask the right questions and be there. You know what I mean? Because once you're there and you're asking the right questions, then like things should kind of do pretty well. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And again, it's a customer service, treat it as a conversation, happy, bubbly. This is great. You expect nothing from them. Offer things without expecting anything in return. And that's where you're going to build trust in these people and educate them, right? Don't deem them as being ridiculous because they're looking for a 2-bedroom condo in Toronto, but they only have $350,000 to spend. A lot of people will just be like, "Oh, this is garbage. This person's totally out to lunch." Take the time to educate that person, explain the process, explain everything to them. That's when they start to lean on you because now you've built confidence, right?
Exactly.
You've actually spoken truth to them and given them some resources or some alternatives that may work for them, and then that's when they'll start coming back or be responsive to you because they can identify that, hey, this person's not here to sell me, they're here to help guide me.
Exactly.
Through this.
Exactly. Sorry, it's actually cool. I'm looking at different things. So
no
sorry,
worries.
I'm here. I'm paying attention. I'm just kind of looking at a few things. It's actually pretty cool.
No worries. No worries. I'm always in that boat doing multiple things at the same time. Yeah. Awesome. Was there any other questions because I know Nick has to jump here and I do apologize that we were late starting today. Again, we will be on regular, schedule the next session. So not next week, but the week before, after.
Yes.
But yeah, any questions or anything that you guys may encounter that you want to be maybe even think of it after the fact, just send me an email because on these webinars they can ask, not only Nick, I can ask, Beverly, I can ask Tara, I can ask different perspectives because everyone's had success and there's some people that have had phenomenal success and some have really great success and a lot of times they have different approaches. Right. Yes. Or, different commentary of how they would address the situation. So by all means, if you guys come across something that while you're working your database or talking to someone, you're like, what, I need to write this down so that I can ask it or just shoot an email to me. And then on our webinars, I can definitely ask our panelists what their thoughts are on those situations.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you too, let's say if you accidentally deleted something off like Nosy Neighbor, like the addresses, do you think that you can get those back?
Support probably can.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, because the address, did they sign up on Nosy Neighbor? Did you?
No. Like, how about if we manually put it in?
Like, if you threw it, are you doing your Nosy Neighbor through the legacy? Or are you doing it through the new platform where you're adding the 2 searches manually? Probably the old platform.
Yes, exactly.
So that lead, if they're a street match, they still should be a street match lead, like a lead in your system. In their note section, when they first signed up, should give you the address of that lead. Okay. And then sometimes it's under like the seller info or like their sometimes I know Homeworth puts it in there. Okay. And the other options like their address. Okay. But yeah, it should be there. And if you can't find it, then you can always reach out to support with the lead ID or the link to the lead so that they can look, they may be able to pull it up for you.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah. You're the best.
Yep. That's what I call my crystal.
Exactly. Crystal ball.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for jumping on for short live dials today. Thank you, Nick, as always. And
always a pleasure. Thank you.
See you all in a couple weeks. All right. Bye, guys.